Welcome to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise to understand the biggest tensions shaping the technology landscape right now.
And if you're paying any attention to the headlines, you're probably feeling a massive amount of, well, cognitive dissonance.
Right.
Our mission today is to explore that tension, the one right at the heart of the AI revolution. It's this promise of massive economic productivity versus the immediate, disruptive, and honestly messy consequences for workers and institutions.
It's a real duality, isn't it? You see these two types of stories in the same week, almost like they belong to two different worlds. On one hand, you've got major CEOs announcing these huge cost-cutting plans, massive job cuts, all because AI has made entire departments, redundant.
And then literally the next article you click, you're reading about lawyers getting urgent, severe guidance because an AI model just made up fake legal cases for a court filing. It's simultaneously the engine of future growth and this massive professional liability.
So our goal here is to move past the hype and give you a practical feel for the scale of both the upside and the risk. You need to know what's already happening and what's coming next.
Let's start with the big picture, the macroeconomic promise. The UK's Office for Budget Responsibility, the OBR, has actually put a hard number on it.
A very big number.
A huge one. They're forecasting that AI could boost UK productivity growth by up to 0.8 percentage points. And that's within a decade.
That is an astonishing figure. I mean, for a services-heavy economy like the UK, where productivity has been so sluggish, that's transformative. But there's a big catch, right? The OBR is warning that those gains aren't coming tomorrow.
Exactly. They believe AI adoption will follow what economists call a J-curve.
Okay, the J-curve.
Think of it like a huge construction project. In the short term, it's all cost. It's expensive, it's complicated, you have to invest in new training, new processes. So at first, productivity might actually dip a little.
It's the dip of the J. You have to go down before you can shoot up.
Precisely. Which means most of that amazing 0.8% lift, it's not expected to arrive until the latter half of this decade. It's a powerful promise, but it's on the 10-year horizon, not the 10-month one.
So while governments are playing the long game, businesses are focused on the immediate upside, which seems to be using AI as a true collaborator. Mark Andreessen really popularized this idea, didn't he?
He did. He argued that AI becomes the world's best coach, mentor, therapist, or advisor when you change how you talk to it.
When you stop treating it like a fancy search engine.
Exactly. Not just asking for the final answer, but treating it like a thinking partner. The key he pointed to was using what he calls meta prompts.
Can you give us an example of what a meta prompt actually sounds like? Because that feels like where the real power is.
Absolutely. So a basic prompt is, write me an email summarizing this. A meta prompt is asking the AI to examine your process. You might ask it, based on these documents, what critical questions have I failed to consider?
Or, what are the most dangerous assumptions in this strategy? Something like that.
That's it. It helps you restructure your own thinking. It surfaces your blind spots.
And we saw a really incredible high-level example of this in pure mathematics, of all places. UCLA professor Ernest Ryu used GPT-5 to tackle a problem that had stumped mathematicians for 40 years.
And this wasn't just any problem. It was about the stability of the Mistral accelerated gradient method, which is a crucial algorithm in machine learning. It's about how efficiently machines can learn. It's been an open question since 1983.
And he solved it in about 12 hours.
Spread over 3 days, yeah. Now, he was clear the model couldn't solve it on its own, but it acted as this unusual collaborator. It just rapidly proposed and discarded ideas from all these different fields of math, exploring a space that would have taken him months, maybe years.
But the final breakthrough came from the human.
And this is the essential point. The core insight came when Professor Ryu took an incorrect suggestion from the AI and realized he could restructure its logic to find the real answer. So the AI accelerates the search, but the human expert is still verifying every single step.
And that need for speed is driving huge corporate investment right now. Companies are not waiting for 2030.
Not at all. Look at HSBC, Europe's largest lender. They've partnered with Mistral to deploy generative AI across their operations for things like financial analysis, translation, document processing. This is infrastructure, not an experiment.
And it goes right to the top, to the C-suite. Commonwealth Bank in Australia just appointed a dedicated Chief AI Officer, Ranil Boteju.
Yeah, and when you create a Chief AI Officer role on the same level as the CFO, it's a fundamental shift in the business model. And this guy, Boteju, he previously delivered over 50 AI initiatives at Lloyd's. He's got the track record.
Okay, so All these moves are about pulling those productivity gains forward. But this is where the promise collides head on with the human cost. Because executives aren't just forecasting future gains, they're reporting overcapacity now.
That is the single most disruptive piece of data we found. A Bearing Point survey of C-level execs found that half of them, are already reporting between 10 to 20% workforce overcapacity.
In which kinds of roles?
Routine ones. Routine analysis, process execution, transactional support. So think back office functions, call centers.
And they expect that number to get much, much bigger.
By 2028, almost half of those companies expect to have 30 to 50% excess capacity in those exact same roles. This is where the tension becomes a layoff notice.
Hold on a second. If the OBR says the big economic lift is years away, but CEOs are reporting 10 to 20% overcapacity today, that doesn't sound like a long-term J-curve plan. That sounds like an immediate cost-cutting opportunity.
It absolutely does. It suggests that companies are responding to what the technology can automate right now, regardless of the long-term forecast.
And we're seeing the concrete examples of this, the German Insurer Alliance, for instance.
Right. They're planning to cut somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 jobs in their travel insurance division over the next year or so. And they're explicit. It's primarily call center workers being replaced by AI.
It's not just finance either. Even HP is cutting up to 6,000 jobs by 2028, citing AI adoption in product development and customer support.
And this structural change is hitting high-earning professional services, too. The whole consulting firm model is being shaken to its core.
You mean the pyramid model?
Exactly. For decades, firms like McKinsey, BCG, the Big Four, they've relied on this pyramid. You have a huge base of junior staff, fresh graduates, doing all the data gathering, the spreadsheet building, the research synthesis.
All the routine analytical work.
But an AI can now do a huge chunk of that, so why hire legions of expensive junior analysts?
The need for that broad base is just collapsing.
It is.
Yeah.
And as a result, these major firms have frozen graduate starting salaries for the third year in a row. They're fundamentally restructuring their workforce.
So the pyramid is becoming more like an hourglass. Or an obelisk.
That's the perfect way to describe it. Instead of hiring 10 juniors, they're hiring, say, 5 senior people to manage the AI systems and maybe a couple of highly specialized engineers to build the tools.
It's a dramatic, immediate shift in the skills they need. Some estimates suggest UK graduate recruitment for consulting could drop by half. The entry-level job itself is vanishing.
And it's even spilling into the creative fields, where the stakes feel even higher. We have to talk about the Tilly Norwood controversy.
Right. Tilly Norwood, the AI-created actress.
The moment she appeared, the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, just pounced. They called her not an actor and argued the tech was trained on uncompensated work. It's that fear of complete substitution.
But the creator, Elaine van der Velden, she pushed back. She had a different take.
A really interesting one. She argued that AI entertainment is developing as a completely separate genre and that it will actually create more work in the long run.
How? What was her business case?
She said that AI can replace some high-cost elements, a few minor shots, some background actors, to get projects over the finish line, productions that were stuck because they couldn't find, the last 30% of their budget.
So it's not substitution, it's enablement. It lets stories be told that otherwise couldn't.
That's the argument. But you have this classic clash. The human cost is immediate and obvious in a call center. But the creative upside is, for now, still pretty theoretical.
Which brings us to the third big tension, the reliability crisis. Because the moment AI moves from being a research partner to being used in high-stakes fields, reliability is everything. And the biggest headache is still hallucinations.
Confidently making stuff up.
Exactly. And in the legal world, this has gone from a theoretical risk to actual professional malpractice. A prosecutor's office in California had to admit its AI-powered tool produced fabricated legal citations in a court filing.
Which is terrifying. Criminal justice is built on accuracy, and the regulatory response shows just how seriously they're taking this. The UK Bar Council was forced to issue new, very strict guidance after judges found barristers citing fake cases.
And the guidance is basically a public service announcement for professional integrity.
It's crystal clear. It says the barrister, the human, holds full responsibility for the accuracy of everything presented to the court. It doesn't matter if an AI helped draft it. You are the ultimate arbiter of truth.
This isn't just law either. Deloitte reports commissioned by both the Canadian and Australian governments were found to contain fabricated academic citations.
And these are reports that inform public policy, that inform budget decisions. And they contained, facts that just didn't exist. Deloitte tried to downplay it, saying they only used AI selectively, but the fake information still made it into the final report.
It really erodes trust in the institutions themselves.
And that unreliability means that while we are building all these amazing tools for autonomous action, consumer trust is just lagging way behind.
Right. We're moving into the era of agentic AI. This is the next step, not just generating text, but AI that can act on its own.
To initiate tasks, monitor outcomes, change its own plans. And the big travel companies, Expedia, Priceline, they're building these tools to automatically book flights and modify complex trips for you. The payment systems from PayPal and others are ready to go.
The infrastructure is being built, but people aren't ready to trust it. One survey said only 2% of travelers are willing to let an AI book or change their plans autonomously.
2%. The trust hurdle is massive, and it comes down to accuracy and privacy. As one travel exec put it, in travel, accuracy is everything. One hallucinated flight time, one double-booked hotel, and the trust is gone.
It's why institutions in even higher stakes fields like medicine are being so proactive about transparency. We saw this with the NHS X-ray survey from Dr. Maya Jafari.
Right, her research is asking patients directly. Do you want to know when AI is being used to analyze your medical scans?
Even when the AI is just a second pair of eyes to help a human radiologist.
Exactly. It acknowledges that patient trust is just as important as clinical efficiency. You need public buy-in, and that starts with being radically transparent about what the machine is doing and when.
So if we bring it all back together, AI is actively replacing lower-skilled jobs right now based on a 10-year forecast of productivity gains. But the technology's own reliability issues, the hallucinations, create a profound risk that requires intense human oversight.
And that leads straight to the reskilling challenge. The NFER warns that up to 3 million low-skilled UK jobs could disappear by 2035. And the new jobs being created, they're professional and associate professional roles.
Roles that require significant reskilling.
You can't just move a call center operator into an AI engineering role overnight. The jobs AI enables require a much higher level of specialized human expertise than the jobs it replaces.
And that leads us to our final provocative thought. If the most effective, safest use of AI demands this high-level human oversight, Andreessen's thought partner, Professor Ryu, verifying the math, the Bar Council mandating human accuracy,
then the knowledge workers who survive the cuts will need to spend their newfound productivity gains not on maximizing their own output, but on auditing the machine's output.
If the greatest danger is a hallucination, then the real structural shift isn't about maximizing AI speed, but minimizing AI risk.
So the question is, how quickly can organizations pivot from celebrating how fast an AI can write to mandating its meticulous, human-driven verification?
Because that might be the new definition of a high-value professional, the person who can audit the machine better than anyone else.